Hey, fourth grade math, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about rounding. Yesterday we did like the basic forms of rounding. Today I was going to tell you about some of the trickier ones that we were going to do. So one of the first ones that we're going to do is we're going to round to the hundreds place. And our number is 973. So again, your first step should always be it tells me where to go. So I'm going to go, boom, right here, hundreds place. And I'm going to underline it. And then we are going to look at the second or the number next to it, circle it, and it tells us what to do. Remember, 0 through 4, this number stays the same. 5 through 9, we add 1 to this number. And so right here, it's telling us it's a 7, so it's telling us we need to add 1. But that would make this 10. Can I put a 10 in the hundreds place value? No, it's just like we're adding. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put a 0 here, and then you're going to put that 1 is going to go into the thousands. It's like you add a little 1 up here, just like you're adding, and then it drops down into the thousands. And then we finish the way we do regular rounding. Look at their other numbers. I circle them to tell me that they need to be zeros. And then I bring them right down like that. So 973, when we're rounding to the hundreds place, actually turns into 1,000. Kind of a cool little thing. I'm going to show you one more example like that, but we'll use some smaller numbers so it'll go real quick. So I want you to round to the hundreds place, or the tens place, tens, with the number 97. So again, we're rounding to tens. I underline it, circle our next number. It's going to tell us what to do. It's a 7, so it's telling us to add 1 to this number, but I can't put a 10, which would make it 10, but I can't put a 10 in the tens place. I can put a 0, and I put the 1 there, and it comes down like I'm adding. My last thing is I look at my zeros, and I add my 0 down there as I drop it down. And if you think about it, 97, if I'm rounding to the tens place, 97 is closer to 100 than it is to 90. So a couple of my students, I know you know who you were doing that in their head, and they were doing it faster than this. So awesome job on that. One other tricky thing, there's two more tricky things. One of the other tricky things is sometimes we might give you a thing that says round to the thousands place. Thousands. But we only give you a number that looks like that. And a lot of you guys were like, well, there is no thousands place. What am I supposed to underline? Well, what one student and I who were working with yesterday, she said, well, I'll just underline it and I'll put a 0 there because we have 0 1,000s. And that is the perfect answer. So awesome job yesterday. You know who you are. And we put our 0 here because we have 0 1,000s. Now I treat it like a normal rounding thing. So I have my underline for my place it's asking. I'm going to circle my number. It's an 8, so it's going to tell me I need to add 1 to 0. So that turns into a 1. I circle the rest of my numbers to remind me that these all need to be 0. So 848 rounded to the thousands rounded to the thousands place means we round up to 1,000. That's that tricky one. One last little tricky thing that we might have here, and this is what I was talking about yesterday, is a lot of the times I've been telling you what place value to round to, like hundreds, thousands, or the tens. Sometimes it just might say round to the largest place value. Round to the largest place value. And all that means, it's a really big fancy math talk to say if we have the number 347, what's our largest place value here? 300, the hundreds. So we're going to be rounding to the hundreds spot. And if I round it, I look at my other number here. Tells me to stay the same. So it's 300. If I gave you this number, what place value are we rounding to? It says to the largest place value. Is ones my largest? Tens? Hundreds? Thousands is. So we're going to underline the thousands. So when I'm rounding to my largest place value, the hint is it's always going to be the number that's furthest to the left. So or the number that's worth the most when we look at our place values. Remember, this is a 7, but it's worth 7,000. This is a 4, but it's worth 400. That's a 2, but it's only worth 20. That's an 8, but it's only worth 10. So we're looking for our largest place value. Again, once you find it, you just start doing the normal process. That's a 4. It tells me to keep it the same. And I have the rest all turned to zeros. So when you hear largest place value, you're always going to go to the biggest place value. If I have a number, they might try to trick you sometimes. And they might write like 10,001. Well, these are all 0, but the largest place value is all the way here on the end because we have 10,000. So again, it's almost always here on the left. Our numbers will tell us to round to 10,000. So those are the 3 kind of tricky types of rounding. If you got that, you are going to do awesome on the assessment on Friday. But any questions, be sure to let Mr. B or Miss Keller know, and we can help you with that. I will see you in math. Bye!